present from the workshop. I'd be happy to pass on this present to the Greenskins. And stay there! That? And stay there! And again! My king! What are you doing here?
Giselbert I, the father of the Fifthling clan, has not been on the front line of battle against the creatures of Tion for many cycles. The king surveys the battlefield and the defenders with a grave expression.
We are too few.
This you know as well as he does. But there will be no reinforcements arriving. Hundreds of brave warriors lie inside the fortress dying. The illness is running rampant. It brings weakness and death.
Stay at your posts. Be as steadfast as the granite of which we are made. Nothing can break us. Vrakas is with us. That's not yet possible. What's that? What? Out again! Yes? Huh? And again! What is it? Ha! Ha! Yes? Huh? Yeah! Hammer time! Another one gone! Another one gone! Yes! Ha! What? What is it? I'm speeding! Yes? Hammer time! Another one gone! Be off with you!
These are the ones who attacked us in the tunnels. We suffered great losses beating them back.
Come here and I'll split you like a straw, you treacherous elf!
In his fury, the old king radiates a ferocious power that none of Citalia's children could withstand. But the slight, willowy being sitting astride the shadow mare just grins down, mockingly.
You are mistaken. We are Alpha. We are here to destroy the elves.
All peace-loving beings here in Girdlegard are under our protection, and you cannot open the gate that has barred your path into Girdlegard since the creation of the world.
Not us, but perhaps one of your kind.
This cannot be. Silence, you fool! Vrakas, forgive me for what I am about to do.
Quickly, in formation! You must hold them back until I close the gate! What is it? Ah! That's that? That's that? Not the moment! And stay dead!
Look at me. I am Syntheras, the reaper of your death. I will take your life, and the land will take your soul.
Get out of my sight, pointy ears, and let me delight at the closed gate a little longer.
The gate may have closed, but when you rise again from the dead by the you will be one of us, and you will open it.
Never! My soul belongs to Vrakas.
No, your soul now belongs to the land, and henceforth you will belong to it forever. Now die, and return. Then hand us Girdlegard.
You're a perfectionist, Tungdil Bolafar.
I've got a reputation to uphold. If you can't rely on the metalwork of a dwarf, what can you rely on? You look dreadful.
What a charmer.
The maid gives you an ironic, reprimanding scowl.
Ikana has been crying half the night.
When you were teething, I carried you around the vaults. You played with my beard and I sang you to sleep.
Frala smiles. She's heard this story many times before.
That was 23 cycles ago. But I'm quite sure you didn't sing. You might have grumbled a bit.
If what you've read about the dwarven lifespan is true, it'll be another 300 sun cycles and more before you are called to the Eternal Forge. The certainty of one day having to witness Frala's death already burdens your heart.
What can I do for you?
For me, nothing. It's Lot Yonan. He wants to see you in his study.
In your mind, you go through all the recent incidents that might have annoyed the Magus. Apart from a few little squabbles with his famuli, nothing worth mentioning happened since the incident with your beard. You nod.
Okay. I'd better not keep the Magus waiting.
See you later. There's goulash for dinner.
There was a time when you could This is where you swung the forge hammer for the first time 30 cycles ago. No one taught you the craft. It was enough for you. Everything you know about dwarves you learnt from books. The divine smith created the dwarves, and from time to time you make him an offering of some crumbs of gold. It's the most valuable thing you have to offer Vracus. You've worked a bit more on Sunya's birthday present last night. The little one is crazy about horses. You, on the other hand, prefer to keep your distance unless you're fitting them with hooves. Too many legs and way too big. There are apparently dwarves who have never seen the sky. And you too feel more comfortable when...
Hey, groundling! Come to the kitchen, we need you!
Jolison, a fourth-degree famulus and your favourite foe among the students of magic, gives you a disparaging glance and disappears without waiting for your reply.
Tungdil! Quick! Or the goulash will get burnt!
You immediately recognise what the problem is. A chain running over a pulley for positioning the cauldron is detached from its mounting and the cauldron stuck in the fireplace. It's a heavy load and none of the famuli who feel...
It'd be a waste of goulash. And I'm hungry. Here, hold this. Do you remember when you dyed my beard with some magic spell? I had to shave it off.
You stroke your beard, which is unusually short for a dwarf.
Damn it! Ah, it's heavy!
The young human forces through his pursed lips, letting the pot sink a little.
Don't you dare ruin my goulash, boy!
The cook, with beefy forearms, glares at the young man, and after a brief moment, he tries harder.
You damned freak!
For a moment, you hope the famulus really does raise his hand to you. But then he comes to his senses and leaves the kitchen, his face bright red.
What a pair you are!
The goulash is bubbling. Vegetables, bread, cheese, but the cook is not to be trifled.
Do you know what Lot Yonan...
The maid gives you an amused look. You've worked a bit more on Sunya's birthday present. Everything you know about dwarves you...
Master Lot-Yonan, Frala told me you wished to speak with me.
Ah, Tungdil, come in. There is a bag over there in the cupboard. Take it out, please. It contains artifacts belonging to my former famulus Goren. I wish to return them to him. He's in Black Saddle, 300 miles away.
300 miles? That's a long journey. Who are you going to entrust with this?
I was thinking of you.
Me?
There is no one better to take on this journey. You have acquired much knowledge. You are almost a scholar. You know more than most famuli about Girdlegard and its inhabitants. It is time for you to go out into the world and see it with your own eyes.
With pleasure. Perhaps I'll meet some dwarves on my travels.
Yes, perhaps. But don't hold out too much hope. And be careful who you talk to. Not everyone out there likes dwarves.
Yeah, goblins. They abduct baby dwarves and sell them to magi, from what I've heard.
Not the best bit of business I've ever done. But what was I to do? The Longnoses threatened to throw you into the nearest river.
What's in the bag?
Magical devices. You better leave the bag closed if you want to avoid any accidents. Dwarves don't really like magic, and magic doesn't like you either.
Vracus gave us so much craftsmanship that there's no space left in our bodies for magic.
Strictly speaking, every time you've been too close to magic, it has ended in catastrophe.
Be on your guard. Look after the bag and don't lose it. May Palandiel be with you. And Vracus too, of course.
I'll set off immediately. I'll see you soon, Lot-Yonan. I wonder if dwarves ask Vracus for help on long journeys.
The figure on the homemade altar doesn't answer.
If I hurry, I might be back in time for Sonia's birthday.
You're longing to see her face when you give her your homemade present.
Hello, Frala. I've got a present for you.
You take out a symbol of protection that you've carefully made from 3 horseshoe nails.
It's not the finest jewellery in Girdlegard.
One look at Frala's face makes it clear that it doesn't matter. She glows with happiness as she takes the pendant.
For me? But why?
Because you don't see me as an oddity, and you're like a little sister to me.
You could have said. But you settle with a shrug and a crooked smile.
I need provisions for 300 miles.
You're grinning from ear to ear. Finally, you've got the chance to see something of the world.
300? Tungdil, that's no errand. That's an...
I'm going to Blacksad. I have to go.
I wish you the blessing of Palandial and Vracus to protect you from all danger on your journey. Here, a talisman. Whenever you look at it, think of me.
Frala winks at you mischievously.
And of getting me a nice present.
How nice to see you again, Lotyonen. It must have been an age since we last met face to face.
Nudin, welcome. Please, sit down.
No, thank you, my friend. These are urgent matters, and I don't have much time. You must come to Leos Nudin immediately. The perished land is stirring.
Are you sure? What makes you think that?
I found out about 60 orbits ago, during a visit to the borders. Our magical barriers have weakened and become porous. The Elfar have left their land, and a huge horde of orcs have marched into Girdlegard.
Were you able to strengthen the spell with your magic?
No. I can't repair the damage alone. We need the combined power of the 6. The other 4 are already on their way here, but we need your help too.
I will set off for Parista without delay.
Oh, and as you're coming, could you also take the opportunity to bring back the things that I lent to you?
Of course. I have them already packed in a bag.
Oh, thank you. We'll be expecting you.
Utterly blinded by the sunlight, you squeeze your eyes tightly shut after only a few steps. The time spent underground has made you so sensitive to light that you're forced to seek shelter in the shade of a mighty oak. You reach a small lake by a birchwood. Your feet hurt and your eyes still sting in the unaccustomed sunlight, but a smile spreads across your face nonetheless. You've covered a decent distance on the first day of your big journey. You pitch your camp and lie down to sleep on the hard forest floor. When you awake in the morning, your legs are stiff and achy. Trying not to feel sorry for yourself, you throw your rucksack over your shoulder. You're a dwarf, and dwarves don't complain. Around midday, with the sun high in the sky and the first beads of sweat appearing on your forehead, you see something move next to the road, a few hundred meters ahead. Some crows are pecking at something in the long grass. You survey the grass, the bushes and the few trees that are growing on both sides of the track. The wind blows through the grass and the leaves tremble. The pecking of the birds is only interrupted by the occasional fluttering of their wings. Apart from that, you see nothing. When you see the blood on the ground, you try to convince yourself it's from an animal that just happened to be killed on the road by a hunter. You know this is improbable, and your hope disappears completely when you see two human bodies lying in the flattened grass. A slender man lies in front of you, dressed in an expensive... You don't see any signs of a struggle in the area where the corpses are lying. Were they stabbed by a
No. Nothing again.
You halt.
A rucksack?
You open the rucksack and recognize that someone has already rummaged through it. As well as some implements and writing utensils, you find a pouch full of gold and a talisman. The gold is proof that this is not a case of robbery. Warmth and a feeling of security flush through your body as you touch the talisman. You feel safer just holding it in your hand. You look down on a tall, broadly built man. He's wearing dark brown leather, a rucksack that probably belonged to one of the dead. It seems to have been searched and then thrown away carelessly. You find a few implements, some provisions, and a map. A route is drawn on it from Parista, Nudin's capital, to Lot Yonan's vaults. You scour the area once more and ask yourself what to do next. It's time-consuming and work digging shallow graves in the ground with a stick and covering the corpses with a few stones. But it should at least keep the crows from their feasting for a while. you continue on your way so as to put a few more miles between you. As the gable end of a small farmhouse and a barn appear from behind a hilltop, you hear the loud cries of children at play. A girl runs along the path laughing, followed by the boy is trying to catch up his sister with a... The boy trips and falls to the ground with a bump. Before the girl can reach him to help, he picks himself up and grabs the stick to continue the chase. In doing so, he catches a glimpse of you, and his eyes grow wide. All he manages to say is, "There," as he points towards you with a chubby little finger. Now the girl has turned to face you too. Before you can say a word, she lifts her little brother up into her arms and runs screaming towards the farmhouse. Without rushing, you follow the children to the farmhouse into which they've disappeared. After a few moments, they reappear, accompanied by their parents. Their father is a thick-set man with grey hair.
I am Opatia. This is my wife, Remsa.
The blonde woman nods a greeting almost imperceptibly and clasps her daughter tightly to her. She looks you over with...
It's a pleasure to meet you. My name is Tungdal.
You try to make your...
I'm sorry if I scared your wife and children.
The man waves dismissively.
No. It's just that my fair woman is especially jumpy these days.
The orcs have been spotted near Calmstead. You should take it more seriously.
The farmer's wife clutches her daughter even tighter before the girl finally protests. The boy steps forward excitedly and cuts the air with his stick.
If strangers come, we're supposed to run away, but I can hit them too.
Opatia pats his son on the head, laughing.
We're safe. The orcs have no reason to come...
Over the last few days, have you seen two travellers heading east?
Opatia looks at his wife, but she shakes her head.
Why do you ask?
I found them. Two dead bodies on the side of the road. Good day's march east from here.
Dead bodies?
She hastily covers her son's ears.
Was it orcs?
Remsa, what would orcs be doing up here? It was probably just bandits.
Wouldn't it be better to move to one of the bigger villages if there are orcs around?
The farm is our livelihood. We can't just leave the place. The fields don't look after themselves. King Tilligorn's cavalry will take care of the orcs, or Lord Yonan and his magi.
But the cavalry can't be everywhere at once. Even a handful of orcs would be enough to finish us.
Once the seeds are planted, I'll build the hideaway, just as you wish. But what use is a hideaway if we've nothing to eat in the autumn?
If there are orcs in the area, then you shouldn't waste any time. Build that hideaway.
The dwarf is right.
Remsa gives you a thankful smile before turning to her husband.
We'll take care of the other problems when we come to them. The most important thing is that we're safe.
Opatia stays silent for a moment, a gloomy expression on his face, before shrugging his shoulders.
All right then. Dwarves do know best when it comes to orcs.
You bid farewell and set off on your way. The children follow you for a while, before saying their goodbyes in laughter and running back towards the farm. You see a flickering light through the trees some way from the path. It might come from a campfire. You walk towards the fire with confident strides until you finally make out 3 broad-shouldered men with axes. 2 rabbits are sizzling over the fire.
The men are joking with one another, but you can only understand the odd word. They haven't noticed you yet. Once you reach the edge of the firelight, you say amicably,
"Greetings. My name is..."
The men jump up and grab their axes.
Who's there?
Well, I'll be. Is that a groundling?
The men look you over suspiciously.
My name is Tungdil. I'm only a traveller who would have nothing against a warm fire and some company.
A groundling wants our company.
We are honest, hard-working men. Why would we have anything to do with groundlings? Be off with you.
The man strengthens his grip on the axe and passes his tongue over his yellowed teeth while keeping you in his sights. You shrug your shoulders indifferently and take 3 small steps backwards without taking your eyes off the men.
All right, if I'm not welcome here, then I'll go.
Good. And don't even think about coming back to stab us in the back or steal from us. We'll keep guard. There's nothing here for groundling scum.
Although your heart is beating wildly, you turn around and walk back to the path without saying a word.
Crawl back underground.
You try to ignore the ridicule. It was a clever decision to go. You're not a good fighter, and taking on a bunch of woodcutters is not part of your mission. You reach the banks of the Warder and can see Axeldale on the other side, but there isn't a bridge for far and wide. The fishermen's boats glide over the water, which sparkles in the sun. None of the men seem to notice you while they throw out their nets. You look at the cold, dark water. The current seems so strong that they could carry off even the most experienced of swimmers, and you aren't even a mediocre one. You once read a legend in a book. Elria, the goddess of water, did not like the children of the forge and cursed the dwarves, so that they would drown in any waters beyond their kingdoms. The main reason that dwarves avoid water to this day. You call to the nearest fisherman. He looks across at you briefly before turning away and getting back to his work. You're going to have to find another way of crossing the river. You leave the peaceful banks of the river behind you and continue on your way. You look down on a large village on the banks of the Warder. Some of the village is built on stilts in the river. A wooden bridge spans the fast-flowing water. A huge wooden palisade has been erected to protect the village from attack. The guards on the palisade are watching you. Their armor looks well cared for and well made. The smith who made them knew what he was doing. You conclude that the men depend on the protection the armor offers and aren't just wearing them to look good. They're certainly not villagers. The double gate is made of strong planks, sturdy but still much less solid than the fixed parts of the palisade. Security has been forgone here for practical reasons. Never a good idea when building fortifications. Some of the guards begin to whisper as you near the gate.
Hello up there!
What brings you to fair Goodwater? And have you seen any orcs on your travels, groundling?
The man leaning over the palisade eyes you up and down carefully.
Goodwater is well known for its hospitality.
A fact that you've just made up yourself.
Let me in, and I will tell other travellers all about it.
I regret to inform you that we cannot allow you to enter. The gates stay closed once night has fallen.
There is certainly no regret showing in the man's face.
I'm a blacksmith. And a dwarf. Let me tell you, your gate might look solid, but it won't withstand a real orc assault.
The murmuring all around him makes the man pause for a moment. If anyone else had criticized the stronghold, they'd have been laughed down and shooed away. But no one understands defense systems like the dwarves.
A dwarf blacksmith who just happens to be standing in front of our gate?
That's right. I can see to it that orcs crack open their skulls on your gate, just like at home on the High Pass. Skulls that add up to hard cash for you.
You only know about the secondling stronghold from books, but you can see in the man's face you've pushed the right buttons.
All right then. You can spend the night in the village. You begin work tomorrow morning, and it had better work like you promised.
Of course. It's a trifle.
After a meal, you spend the and shelter of a Goodwater tavern. The next morning, you feel fully refreshed. You strengthen the gate with cross braces of wood and iron, using your experience and skill. Now it should be able to withstand an attack for much longer. Mercenaries and villagers alike watch you work, clearly impressed. As you finish, a man approaches you.
Well done, dwarf. We were right to bring you into our village.
The village grew rich through bridge tolls, and this wealth must be defended.
I've spent almost half an orbit strengthening the gate. How about a bit of compensation?
The council member's face darkens.
We've paid for food and lodgings, and because we're generous, we've also thrown in the bridge toll. Good day, Mr. Dwarf.
An uneasy feeling has been your constant companion since you left Goodwater. Every little sound in the forest makes you fear you've been discovered by a horde of orcs. But you reach the end of the day without bumping into any of the greenskins. It seems as though Vrakas has granted you one more day in Girdlegard. As night begins to fall, you pass a large oak tree and decide to call it a day. Near the oak tree is an abandoned camp with a fireplace, which appears to be a couple of days old. You swing yourself up the trunk and then pull up your baggage after you. You're prepared to sleep in a tree like a bird if it means escaping the orcs' attentions. You sling your rope twice around your stomach and the trunk of the tree to stop you from falling accidentally. You close your eyes and dream. You see North Pass and smell the fresh, icy wind that sweeps over the peaks of Great Blade and Dragon's Tongue. But the harmony is interrupted by the hideous roar of an unending flood of orcs throwing itself unceasingly against the fortification. You smell the disgusting green blood of the orcs and taste the rancid fat of their armor on your tongue. The bitter taste becomes stronger until it's unbearable and wrenches you out of your dream. You open your eyes and are surprised at the brightness as a glance at the sky confirms that it's still night. Your eyes move towards the ground, and what you see makes the blood in your veins freeze.
I am Sinthras of Son Balsur. My master, Nod On the Doublefold, ruler of the perished land, has elected you, the lords of Taboribor, to be the sword that conquers the south.
You mean you want us to put our necks on the line and be killed by some magus?
Lord Yonan and the others will be taken care of. Your task is to create a diversion in the south until my master's plan succeeds.
And which of us is the leader?
The one that conquers the most land.
So Kragnar will be the new Grand Lord.
He glares at Ushnots and Bashkug.
The Kragnar Shore Tribe will conquer the most land.
Never! We will overwhelm the cities of the Red Bloods quicker than you can suck the marrow from a bone.
We shall see.
You can't believe what you're hearing. If the beasts of Tion ride into battle together, catastrophic cycles lie ahead for Girdlegard. The night in the oak tree was the worst of your life. You spent every single moment afraid that you would be found and savaged by the orcs. But as the first rays of sun broke through the treetops, the orcs abandoned their camp and left without discovering you.
Better safe than sorry.
Your eyes scan the deserted camp, and you listen carefully for any noise. But you don't see or hear anything suspicious.
Ugh.
You're overcome by the urge to vomit. You have, of course, heard the stories, but seeing with your own eyes that orcs actually do eat humans is a long way from just reading about it.
This is the place. I knew it was here. Come on then, find that stupid necklace. Hey, Fuskar! In front of you! A grounding! Perfect for a spun breakfast!
You know that you're no warrior, but you want to face the orcs as a child of the Divine Smith. Perhaps you'll manage to kill at least one of them, so as not to appear so undwarven in Varacus's eyes.
I'll give you something to chew on. Vracus made us of stone.
Oink, oink, little piggies! Right, Barrowin's beard! How did you manage to lose your weapon? Go and get it, and this time, hold it tight! Hey, that one was mine!
You're just too slow, dear brother!
Too slow? Just wait!
What is it?
Huh? Yes? What is it?
What is it?
And what now? He hardly put up a fight. Yes?
Huh? Yes?
Who's no easy? I didn't hit you very hard. Ow! Hey! Yeah! I just need a little rest. Too easy. What is it? And again.
I need help over here, quickly!
Yeah! Another one bites the dust! Pow! Another one bites the dust! Yeah! Huh? I didn't hit you very hard!
They're hitting me pretty hard!
Too easy!
Yeah!
I need help over here, quickly!
I didn't hit you very hard! Pow! Another one bites the dust!
And again! Yes? They're hitting me pretty hard! I need help over here, quickly!
Yeah!
Huh?
Huh? They're hitting me pretty hard! Vile creature!
Yeah!
Yes?
Yes?
Too easy!
Yeah!
What is it?
Others will take my place. Huh?
Yeah!
What is it? Yes? Too easy!
I can't do that yet!
Yeah! Pow!
And what
Another
now?
one bites the dust!
What is it?
Yes?
Yeah! I didn't hit you very hard! Yes!
He only put up a fight! What is it?
Yeah! Huh? Kill! Who's next? Ow! Another one faster now!
Huh?
Yeah!
I am Bowendahl! Give me a hand!
Yeah! Ow! Hey!
I am Bowendahl!
Yeah!
Give me a hand!
Ow! What is it?
Huh? What is it? Of course!
Huh? Yes?
And what now?
Yeah!
What is it?
What is it?
And again.
Huh?
Kill.
Huh?
Yeah!
And what now?
Yes?
Yeah! Yes?
Huh?
Huh?
Oink oink!
That's all? No more orcs?
Well fought, young friend. Do you happen to be tongued ill?
Well fought? But he fought like a...
Boindale, what do you expect? He grew up amongst the humans.
Who are you, and how do you know my name?
My name is Boindale Hookhand, of the clan of the Swinging Axes. This is my brother, Boindale Doubleblade. We've been sent to find you.
Call me Ironheart. Are there any more piggy snouts around here?
You turned up at just the right moment. But are you sure it's me you're looking for?
The High King Gundrabor sent us to fetch you and bring you to Ogre's Death in the Secondling realm in the south.
So he received the letter from my master? And am I a secondling?
Well, something like that, I guess.
Then my family was found and the High King wants to bring me back to my clan.
No, you're not a secondling. You're a fourthling. And you're to...
The High King will tell you all about that once we get to Ogre's Death. We should get going.
There was a meeting last night. The Elfar serve a certain Nod On who calls himself Lord of the Perish Land. They have enlisted 3 orc hordes to cause unrest in the south.
Did you hear that, Bowendahl? Piggy snouts!
The Elfar from Son Balzur and the Orcs from Taboribor are working together?
And could ally with the orcs from the Perish Land.
The twins look at you solemnly. You all know what that would mean for the people of Girdlegard.
We've got to...
Yeah, I know what you're gonna say. But it's our duty to get you to the Ogre's Death Fortress in one piece.
I thought the duty of dwarves was to protect the innocent in Girdlegard.
Lot Yonan and King Broron will take care of the orcs. We 3 must be careful. You're not exactly a warrior.
But he has broad shoulders and broad hands. There's hope for him yet. So when you've got the chance to split a few orc skulls, you should take it.
I would be happy to follow you into the realm of the Secondlings. In truth, there is nothing I would rather do. But first, I must travel to Blacksaddle and return some things to a former famulus of Lot Yonan.
Blacksaddle isn't exactly on our way.
It's on my way. We can head south as soon as I've carried out Lot Yonan's orders.
Well, he's certainly got the stubbornness of a dwarf. Perhaps we'll be able to make a real dwarf of him on the way.
All right, we'll accompany you. The sooner we find that famulus, the quicker we can get back to the mountains.
I'll have to send Lot Yonan a message by carrier pigeon on the way. And if we happen to stumble upon a couple of orcs...
I like you, but we'll have to find you another name. Bolafar. It's about as good as Lipsmith, Paddletosh, or Blufflegrump. It is stupid, senseless, and definitely not a name of honor. What are you good at?
I'm good at reading.
Reading? You're a scholar?
The road leads up a small hill. From the top, you can see a few farmhouses in the distance. There is smoke rising up from the village, and the battle cries of attacking orcs can be heard even this far off.
And what now?
Huh? On my way!
What is it?
Yes?
On my way.
What is it? Huh? Those blasted trumpeters are calling for reinforcements!
Not for long.
Huh?
And what now?
Huh?
What is it?
What is it?
Huh?
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 Huh? What is it?
Huh?
What is it?
Huh?
Huh? Huh? Platinium! Forward dog! Give me a hand!
Yes?
Yes? What is it?
Huh?
Huh? Yes? Those blasted trumpeters are calling for
Not for... Yes?
Too easy! Huh? What is it?
Huh?
I didn't hit you very hard!
Huh?
He hardly put up a... What is it? What is it? Another one bites the dust! Yeah! Huh? He hardly put up a fight! Huh? Yes?
Huh?
Huh? I didn't hit you very hard! What is it?
Yes?
Kill! Huh? Another one bites the dust! Yeah! And what now? What is it? What is it? Ow! Another one bites the
Huh?
And again! Huh? Who's next? Too easy!
Huh?
Yeah! Yes! Pow! Another one bites the dust! And what now? Who's next? I didn't hit you very hard! Too easy! Pow! Another one bites the dust! I didn't hit you very hard!
Please wait a moment!
What is it?
Yes?
Yeah! Yes? And what now?
you very hard!
And again! Uh-huh.
Yeah! Yes?
Yes? I need help over here! Quickly!
Too easy! I didn't hit you very hard!
And again!
Huh?
Yes?
What is it?
Vile creature!
I didn't hit you very hard! Yes?
No sooner is the battle won than terrified survivors start to venture out of their hiding places. Women with sheets ripped into strips and buckets of hot water take care of the injured. A man with a blood-encrusted arm approaches you.
My name is Malchius. I am... well, I think that I am now the mayor of this village. Without your help, we wouldn't have been able to stop the orcs. I thank you, and regret that we have nothing to offer you as a reward.
The man's contemplative expression brightens.
Unless, if you want to cross the river, we can ferry you. Everyone for miles around will know your names, for we owe our lives to you. Whenever you want to get to the other bank, just let us know.
You thank him politely and spend the night as honored guests in Malchius's house. All evening, people come to the house to give you small gifts and swear eternal thanks. The next day, you depart. First amidst protest, then grateful cheers. You and the twins approach Goodwater. A huge army of orcs has surrounded the village on 3 sides. You see smoke and fire and hear the battle cries. The village is holding out, but for how long?
Oh, getting exciting! Archers in front of them, 3 dwarves behind. I wouldn't like to be in their shoes. What is it? As good as done. Huh? Huh? Yes?
Huh?
Huh?
Ow! Pretty high! I need help over here! Quickly, put up a fight! Yes?
Ow! Another one bites the dust! I just need... Kill! Huh? I didn't hit you very hard! Ow! Another one bites the dust! Yeah! Too easy! What you do with your axes over here? Yeah! Ow! Another one bites the dust. What is it?
Yes?
I need help over here, quickly!
Yeah! Did you see that, men? Now they are warriors! Hey, you down there! I'll send you some reinforcements! Let's stick it to those runts!
All right then, stay close to us.
They're hitting me pretty hard! I need help over here, quickly!
What is it? Too easy!
Yes?
Yeah! Yes? Huh? All right.
Yes?
Yes? Yes? Huh? Yeah! Pow! Another one bites the dust. As good as done. What is it?
Yes?
Yes? What is it?
Yes?
The orcs' fighting spirit lessens with every fallen comrade. After Kragnar's death, they finally attempt to flee the battlefield. Very few escape the mercenaries' arrows. The leader of the mercenaries approaches you, surrounded by his soldiers. His expression is one of recognition, caution, perhaps even awe.
You're the groundling, dwarf, who reinforced our gate a couple of days ago. It served us very well, just as your axes have.
A young mercenary runs towards you. He has something in his hands that he clearly wants to get rid of quickly.
Commander, we found this on their leader. It feels strange.
The commander looks at the amulet in the man's hand and makes no suggestion that he plans to touch it himself. You take your opportunity.
May I?
You take the amulet and can feel a tingling on your skin. It is clearly magical.
Keep it, as a sign of our gratitude.
The commander bids you farewell with a short nod and moves away. It would seem he thinks he's made a good deal. By the evening campfire, Boindil rummages around in his rucksack and pulls out a cheese wrapped in a cloth. He sticks a fist-sized piece on a spit and grills it on the fire.
There's nothing better than grilled cheese at the end of a long day.
The smell it gives off makes you hold your breath.
Oh, it smells like my socks after weeks of marching in my boots.
Oh, picky, are you? Hardly surprising, considering you were brought up by humans. It's ruined your taste.
Boindil holds the stinky cheese at the end of the stick under your nose.
Eat, and stop complaining.
You pull the warm piece of cheese from the stick. It tastes dreadful. Your fingers will smell of it for the next few days, and probably your mouth will too. You approach Scalebrook through its expansive fields and spot smoke rising up into the sky. A short while later, you can hear the cries of battle, and finally you can smell the tallow on the orc's armor. Scalebrook is at war.
Quick! We have to help those people!
What is it? Yes?
Yes?
Too easy! Huh?
Find somewhere safe to hide. We'll come back for you once we've saved the other villagers.
Huh? Pow! Another one bites the dust!
Kill!
That's it! They're fleeing! I don't think so, they're just rallying!
And that's what we should do too. Come on.
Thank you so much. You saved us.
Not yet. The orcs are rallying. You must join us.
But we can't.
You must. Here they come.
What is it? All right.
Huh? I'm with you. Huh?
Another one bites the dust.
And what now? He hardly put up a fight.
Vile creature. Yes.
Yes?
What is it?
And again. Huh?
Kill.
And again.
Too easy. Yes.
He hardly put up a fight.
Huh? I didn't hit you very hard.
What is it?
Too easy.
While Boindale still hunts the last of the orcs through the alleyways of the village, you and Boandal are already helping search for survivors. Various villagers, all with shocked, ashen faces, come and thank you for saving them. A middle-aged man nervously steps from one foot to the other and tries to force a smile.
My father, the village elder, he is dead. I think I must follow in his footsteps, so I thank you in the name of Scalebrook. He left behind some gold as a dowry for my sister. She's...
The man bows his head, produces a leather pouch, and kneads it with trembling hands.
If only you'd come earlier.
But before you can reply, the man takes a deep breath and forces himself to look at you.
What am I saying? How ungrateful. Thanks to you, many of us are still alive. My daughter may be able to marry one day, thanks to your bravery.
The man hesitates briefly, then thrusts the leather pouch towards you. You accept the reward with a small bow.
Thank you.
We will bury our dead and rebuild the village. Life goes on, thanks to you, noble gentleman.
You see a camp with a wagon and two people on the edge of the path. Behind them, Black Saddle towers up above a thick, dark forest, about a half a day's journey away. Two horses are standing near the covered wagon, grazing. You can make out the shapes of boxes and barrels on the wagon. The two humans are wearing smart clothes and are sitting next to a large campfire. They don't seem to have noticed you yet. You don't want to give them a shock, so you address them while you're still a distance away.
Hello.
The two traders look up and visibly jump when they see you three. It doesn't escape your attention that you seem to be causing the traders some uneasiness, but you take up their offer and sit down.
We're only travellers. We're looking for someone who's said to live on Blacksaddle. A hermit.
Someone who lives here?
The traders exchange amazed looks.
If they live here, they must be mad.
Normally we wouldn't stop and rest here, but the horses are too exhausted. Our departure from Parista was delayed, and we must have driven them too hard.
Why does Blacksaddle make you feel uneasy? It doesn't look particularly inviting, but it's only a mountain.
Only a mountain? You don't know the legend.
The trader looks at you and the twins for affirmation, but you all shake your heads.
Blacksaddle was once known as Cloud Piercer, and it towered up into the heavens, the upper slopes of pure gold and the summit covered in snow. The humans wanted to attain this wealth, but they called on the Dwarves. There were too many. Never heard it.
Later in the night, after eating together and some friendly conversation by the it's a night in which nothing happens. After a march through the thick pine forest, Blacksaddle, the sinister tabletop mountain, and your journey's destination rises up before you.
Are you sure that the Famulus lives here?
Yes, according to Lot-Yonan.
Although you try to put a lot of assurance into your voice, you too see no signs that anyone lives here.
No castle, no tunnel, no camp. There's nothing here but mountain.
Then we'll have to take a closer look.
You do that, scholar. We'll be waiting for you here.
You think about objecting, but it would just be a waste of breath.
Even the dark, evergreen forest seems to be afraid of the Black Mountain.
Found anything? A hidden camp? A secret doorway? Gold?
No. I can only climb a little way here. There must be a better way. An old tree. Looks like it could fall down at any... There we go. Too steep. I can't get a grip anywhere. I should be able to get up here. Oh. Phew. That was close. I hope this is all worth it.
There's something engraved on it.
You realize with surprise that they are runes in the Dwarven language.
Built with the blood of our enemies, be unyielding as the rock, and soak the land in their blood. Huh? Hello? Master Garen? Lot Yonan sent me to bring some items back to you. My inquiries are almost at an end. That means I can finally go to be with my sunshine. I have never been to Greenglade, but I think I will like it there. I deposited my most valuable things in the grave of Horengarth before my departure and secured it with magic. The password is...
You recognize the following words as rune names, but they're...
Greenglade.
Useful. An eternal flame. I know who taught him that.
Hello? Is anyone there? A rune. Clearly magical. The fortress belongs to the Dwarf Haters. Born of stone, forged in battle.
You're not sure if you really want to know what... It looks as though Garen lived in the fortress for a while. It also seems that he left several lunar orbits ago.
He's not stealing. It would just be a shame if the provisions went off.
You see sketches and notes on the architectural features, statues and wall reliefs. It seems Garen spent a lot of time studying this place.
Maybe he's kind of a dwarf historian, or maybe he's just a treasure hunter. Garen is in Greenglade to visit his sunshine. Graves could be buried here. Definitely. Here's a... No.
So, Scholar, what are the results of your inquiries?
There is an abandoned fortress in the mountain, and I think it belonged to the Thirdlings.
Boindale's eyes narrow.
The blasted dwarf killers!
A Thirdling fortress? Here? In the middle of Girdlegard? We must let High King Gundrabur know about this.
The fortress has been long abandoned by the looks of it. Anyway, I can't go to Ogre's death until I have completed my... The High King? Why do you want to bring me to him?
All right, then. It's about the choice of the new High King. Gandagar, the King of the Fourthlings, is with his entourage in Ogre's death and is supposed to ascend the throne.
But our acting High King Gundrabur wants to prevent that from happening. He fears that Gandagar wishes to instigate a war against the elves.
But what have I got to do with that?
Boindale is about to say something, but is silenced by a nudge in the side from his brother.
High King Gundrabur will explain everything when the time comes.
You look distrustfully from one twin to the other. Boindale has donned an innocent expression, and Boendal doesn't give you the impression that he has anything else to say on the matter.
Whatever, your High King must wait. I have a quest to carry out in Greenglade.
But our quest is...
Boindale raises a placatory hand and throws his rucksack onto his back in preparation.
Let it be, dear brother. Look at him. He has made his decision, and you will not be able to change his stubborn dwarven mind.
You can't help but smile. There are dead orcs lying in the defensive trenches and strewn over the meadows in front of the city. While taking a rest, you see a cart trundling along the road not far away from you. A young couple are sitting on the box seat. The sight reminds you of a long, unanswered question.
So, very pretty.
You were expecting a little more information.
Do they have beards?
No, I would say it's more like fluff. Oh, very attractive.
And what do they do? I mean, are they warriors too?
In our kingdom, most take care of domestic life. They take the animals down to the meadows in the valleys, make sure the larders are full and that there's plenty of good beer, and make our clothes.
It only ever causes problems when men and women stand shoulder to shoulder in battle.
Some of them are talented stonemasons and smiths, and beware of insulting their skills. They are no less...
You arrive at a small, bustling village. One thing is clearly missing from the lively scene: the sound of metal on metal from the village smithy that would normally be heard above everything else at this time of day. A dour, grim-looking man is sitting in front of the forge with his right arm in a sling. His expression brightens as he sees you, and he jumps to his feet.
Dear dwarves, could I interest you in helping me in my workshop for a day?
The man's expression is somewhere between desperation and hope. As you don't answer immediately, he continues.
You will, of course, be royally rewarded for your work. I can offer you 100 gold pieces.
I could help you, but compared to human standards, I'm a master smith, so my services will cost you more.
The smith gulps.
More? How much?
Double. My services should be worth that.
Anger and indignation are written across the man's face.
That's much too much. I could have the smith in the neighbouring village do my work for cheaper. I won't pay more than I offered. Take it or leave it.
You say goodbye and leave. After only a few steps, the resigned voice of the smith calls you back.
All right. Double.
A little later, you are standing in the workshop, examining the smith's inferior tools, while he fires up the forge and prepares everything for the job, as well as he can, with just one good arm. You weren't able to persuade the twins to help you. As warriors, they'd rather go hunting, Boindil declared. But you think it's more probable that you'll find them drinking beer. But you don't care. You're excited about being able to smith again after such a long time. Hours later, you have forgotten everything around you. The heat of the forge, the sweat on your warm skin, the play of the flames. You're in your element, and work as if in a trance. The smith left the workshop ages ago, with a satisfied grin on his face.
Right, I'm talking to you.
You look up in surprise. Everything but the beating of the hammer had ceased to exist, and you didn't notice that someone has come in.
Can you do it?
You immediately dislike the middle-aged man. He sounds you out so doggedly with his light grey eyes that it feels as though he wants to look right through you and into your deepest thoughts. The man points to 2 horses.
Those 2, in 1 hour.
I'm sorry. Too much to do. Try somewhere else.
You got a nerve, you little rat.
The man moves menacingly close, his hand on his sword, when the man with grey eyes holds him back.
Not here.
The angry mercenary glares briefly at his leader before stomping out of the forge.
I thank you for your help, Mr. Dwarf. Perhaps we'll meet again.
The men leave the workshop. The men join a larger group of horsemen, more than a dozen, outside the village. You stay hidden and listen.
Not here in the village. Go. Search the road between here and Clintal again.
The other mercenaries nod and the group rides off. You can't make head nor tail of what's going on here, but you don't like it. You tell the twins about your encounter, and they decide to be especially vigilant over the next days. You spend the night in the smith's house. In the early evening, you make an unusual discovery on the side of the road. A colourful trader's wagon has been carelessly abandoned.
I don't like the look of this one bit, Boindil. You take a look around there, I'll stay on this side. Tungdil, you check the surrounding area, and be careful.
You scan the road and the woods on both sides. Apart from the twins who are fighting their way through the undergrowth within earshot, you can't hear or see anyone. The wagon itself isn't damaged, nor is the drawbar, but the belts and leashes that normally hold the draft animals have been cut clean through. You can see a lot of tracks in the mud around the wagon, hoof prints and footprints from humans in heavy boots. At least half a dozen long ones must have approached the wagon from the woods on both sides. The dwindling daylight provides little light inside the wagon. It smells of leather, spices, and candles. And there's another smell in the air, which you can't quite place. It reminds you of your forge in Lot Yonan's vaults, but different. It is messy, but no more so than you would expect from a single dwarf. The bed is rumpled, and there are tools and leftover materials piled up on the little workbench. There are several cupboards hanging on the right-hand wall. At the end of the wagon, there's a large wardrobe, and next to the door on the left is a heavy wooden chest with rusty metal hinges. The smaller cupboards are piled. You reach for the knob of the wardrobe. You take a step back, and the realization of what hit you makes you take 2 more. Lying on the floor in front of you is the body of a dwarf, headless. His head has been cut clean from his neck. The dwarf is wearing clothes that look more like human robes and bears no coat of arms that would identify his kingdom. You didn't know him, but no one deserves to die like this. His head is being cut off cleanly, probably with a sharp blade. A quick glance in the wardrobe confirms what you already suspect. The dwarf's head. As you try to lift the lid of the chest, you realize that the lock has been broken out of the wood. You open the lid and look inside. Amongst clothes and some empty boxes, you find a loot case and a beautiful loot of the kind that humans build, as well as a bag of... You take the loot. You can't play, but an instrument like this is worth good gold. You take the bread and the cured meat. The extra provisions should keep you going for a few days. You give a short, sharp whistle, and the twins come running at the double. You tell them what you found.
A group of horsemen with heavy boots has been here. I found Mort in the wagon. Beheaded. I have a hunch that the mercenaries from Fallow Rock have something to do with this.
Wretched dwarf killers!
You can tell that Boindil wants revenge and can understand his feelings. You wrap the body in linen, dig a hole in the woods, and place the body in it. You lay a couple of his tools and other personal belongings you found in the wagon next to him. You wish there was more you could do for him. You continue on your journey in gloomy spirits. You come across an orchard next to a farmstead and surrounded by several fields of wheat. You don't see anyone working in the fields, but there's a young man lying under an apple tree. He has his legs crossed and a straw hat is covering his...
Excuse me, but we're looking for a group of mercenaries. Have they passed by here?
The young man is startled. He must have nodded off. He looks around anxiously. When he sees you, the fear disappears from his face and is replaced by curiosity. It seems to you that the man is sizing you up.
And if I answer, what's in it for me?
If you can't help us, we'd be happy to ask the owner of the farmstead. We'll just tell him that the man sleeping in the shade of the orchard sent us. What do you think?
The man seems to size you up, and then a crooked smile spreads across his face.
All right, you caught me. The people rode northwest. But please don't tell Father Mullen.
There's no reason for that, if you told the truth. So, northwest, you say?
You continue on your journey, while the lazy labourer sinks back into the grass. The first thing you notice as you enter the village of Clintal is how quiet it is. There is hardly a soul in the streets, and the few people you do see immediately disappear into their houses as you get closer. Boindil draws his axes, and Boendal his raven's beak.
Something's not quite right here. Be alert!
You walk on until you reach the village square. Without a word, men enter the square from the left and the right, cutting off your way. You recognize the leader of the group of mercenaries, looking you over with a satisfied expression. Standing next to him is a frail man with greying hair, who doesn't seem able to cope with the situation. He tries several times to say something, but can't find the right words. Before you have the chance to say anything, the leader of the men calls loudly so that they can all hear.
That's them! They're the ones who murdered the poor travelling trader Mort.
Murderers? Come here, dwarf killer!
Are you denying your terrible deed? You were seen murdering poor old Mort, one of your kind in cold blood.
The old man points unnecessarily to the leader of the mercenaries.
We are not murderers. A dwarf would never do anything like this to a fellow dwarf.
Is that so? Are there those amongst you who you call dwarf killers? A whole kingdom of them, and you claim that dwarves would never kill dwarves?
It's true. Mort spoke of this kingdom. Dwarves who kill dwarves. You lie! Seize them!
Watch out for the archers. Concentrate on the mercenaries, and try not to...
Yes? And what now?
Huh? Huh? Huh?
And what now? Who's next? Yes? What is it?
Huh?
Who's next?
Pow! Another one bites the dust.
Huh?
And what now?
Yes?
And again, what is it?
Who's next?
As good
What
as
is
done.
it?
Huh?
Yes? And what now?
I didn't hit you very hard.
Yes?
And again.
Too easy.
Huh?
What is it?
What is it?
Creature.
Huh?
As the last of the mercenaries falls to the ground, the villagers stop attacking you and retreat. You and Boandal have to physically restrain Boindil until he comes to his senses. Otherwise, he would have followed them into their houses. You walk up to the body of the mercenaries' leader and search his pockets. You soon find something. A letter.
An anonymous client seeks dwarf skulls cleanly cut, shorn, and put into jars with honey. 1,000 gold coins will be paid for each skull. Khan, Bounty Hunters Guild Master.
That's bounty hunters hunting for dwarves. Despicable.
You hold the letter aloft so that everyone can see it.
Look, citizens of Clintel, proof that these men are the killers. They are bounty hunters hunting for dwarves.
The village elder comes out of one of the houses, flanked by other villagers. You ignore their weapons, as well as their sinister expressions, and hand over the letter.
It would seem you are telling the truth. We have been deceived and raised our weapons against the innocent.
The man's face is full of grief and pain.
And we have been made to pay. You have killed men who were close to us. Go now. We must bury them.
You manage to revenge Mort's death, but it doesn't feel like a victory. Too much blood has been spilt. You approach the village and can tell even from far off that something isn't right. The smell of burnt wood and death is in the air.
By Vrakas.
The piggies have really shown those pointy ears. We couldn't have done it any better.
Stay alert. I want to find out what happened to Guren.
You have read about the elves and their buildings. This here had always just been a small example of their architectural skill, which achieved perfection in Alandur. Now burning and ruined, the pavilion makes an even sadder impression. The hand that painted this picture was that of a master. It is composed exclusively in shades of red.
This picture portrays the village in its state of ruin.
Examining the canvas more closely, you realize that it is actually made of skin, and the red paint seems more than suspicious now.
This is the most disgusting thing I have ever seen.
The smell of the smoke has accompanied you for a while now, but here, so close to the bodies, it is masked by the sweet smell of death. You have a bitter taste in your mouth and have to pull yourself together to avoid vomiting in disgust.
Hoofprints! Burned into the ground!
Alfar?
The fire in Boindill's eyes flares up with delight.
Huzzah! That would make a change from those stupid Peggies. Did you hear that, brother? We might get to test our blades on Tion's pointy ears.
Green Glade was one of the few places in Girdlegard where humans and elves lived together. You don't see any elven features among all the faces contorted with The body of the man is riddled with arrows and is lying in a small patch of undamaged ground while a sea of flames must have raged in a circle around him. The robes remind you of those of Lot Yonan's famuli. This, plus the fact that the man used magic, makes you quite sure that this is Garen.
Garen had these books on him when he was attacked. Was he trying to bring them to safety?
Your eyes fall upon a sealed letter next to the books. The circumstances seem grave enough for you to break.
Greetings, Tugger. I am glad to hear that you finally wish to confide in Lot Yonan. I have found out something new about the demon. It's all written in these books. I think they are the key to his destruction, or I hope so at least. Yours faithfully, Goren. What demon are they talking about?
You instinctively think about how the magical barrier is only a few days' march north of here, and beyond it, Varakas only knows what kind of creatures live in the Perish Land. The elf maiden's graceful snow-white face still radiates beauty, in terrible contrast to the rest of her appearance. From the neck down, she is nothing more than a blood-red, damp and glistening skeleton. There are long nails sticking through her thin bones, and where her beautiful eyes once were, are now gaping black holes. In your imagination, You see the Alfar's shadow mare standing around the Lady of Greenglade, devouring her, while she, nailed to the tree, squirms and screams in pain. You quickly put your hand over your mouth.
You destroyed my painting. Now I need fresh blood to paint a new one.
Huzzah! This will be fun! We finally get to fight!
I hope your blood doesn't clot too much. It has to be nice and fluid for my fine brushstrokes.
Ha! How do you plan to defeat us, pointy ears? There are 3 of us.
Oh, only 3. That makes it easier.
She looks over the corpses.
Othar and Luath Buanre!
What's happening?
That's the perished land.
Impossible. Greenglade is south of the barrier.
I know of nothing else that can resurrect the dead. Knock their heads off or they'll keep coming back.
Yeah! What is it? Too easy! Yes!
Yes?
I didn't hit you very hard! Huh? And again! What is it? Huh? Ow! Another one bites the dust! And what? Too easy! Yes?
Yes?
He hardly put up a fight! I didn't hit you very hard! Huh? Too easy! Pow! Another one bites the dust! And what now? I didn't hit you very hard! Too easy! And again! Yes! Ha-ha! I didn't hit you very hard! Huh? Huh? Pow! Another one bites the dust!
Huh?
What is it? Who's next? Too easy! And what now? Pow! Another one bites the dust! I didn't hit you very hard! Pow! Another one bites the dust! Yes. Again.
Dwarves, you protected the glade. The perished land. The barrier has fallen.
You can feel your stomach cramping. Unlike Boindale, you can't say a word.
The damn mage I only had one job!
So this is what it is like to rise from the dead. I feel nothing. I am left with nothing. My love, my beauty, my home, and my forest. Everything has been taken from me. I beg you, have mercy and put an end to my suffering.
Without even being able to look into her eyes, you recognize the sadness in the elf maiden's expression. The dignity that she must once have radiated can only be imagined. Your stomach turns, but you know that it's right. You've never seen the twins looking so serious. They would pit themselves against any army of orcs, but this is something beyond their power, and yours.
We need the Magi. They must rebuild the barrier. We must go to Lot Yonan before the Perish Land spreads further. He will know what is to be done.
Neither of your companions objects.
I can't believe it. The barrier has fallen. How could that happen?
Who can tell? Anything could go wrong with all that hocus-pocus.
It had held back the Perish Land since the fall of the Fifthlings. Reinforcing the barrier whenever it loses power is the primary duty of the Great Magi. I can't imagine how Nodon or anyone else could have broken through it.
You think of the demons mentioned in Garen's letter. You wonder whether it could be possible that a demon from the outer lands might possess powers so great that even the 6 Magi weren't ready for it. Every evening since you left Greenglade, you have looked at Garen's books and tried to prize out the knowledge that they hold. But now, you must admit to yourself that you can't decipher them. However, you did Garen up. What the heck? Garen is dead, and you want to know what you're lugging around with you through the length and breadth of Girdlegard. You grasp at the pouch with an uninvolved expression, so that the twins don't think you're acting against Lot Yonan's instructions. You undo the knot with nimble fingers. A piercing, bone-splitting sound rings out, and small spheres of light shoot into the air, ending in colourful explosions.
By Fracas' hammer and all the fires of his forge!
The twins jump up immediately and draw their weapons. You curse and quickly close the pouch again.
By the mountains of Girdlegard! What was that, Scholar?
I just wanted to examine the magical trap. It's for thieves, in case someone tries to steal the pouch.
You try to act normally, so that they don't realise you got just as much a shock as they did. Boindale looks at the pouch with animosity.
Magical frippery.
The twins sit down again, and you slowly recover. Just like previous nights, you are haunted by the image of the elf maiden nailed to the tree in Greenglade. You wake from your sleep and look around you. The night is unusually dark. Despite your good dwarven eyes, you can only make out Boendal's outline. You're about to lie down again, but suddenly feel something cold against your throat. Next to you, the pale face of an elf slides into view.
Good evening. I'm afraid we missed each other in Greenglade, so my companion had to receive you on her own.
You want to speak, but the blade is pressed against your larynx, and you can only manage a wheeze.
Shush. You don't need to talk. I'm not going to kill you. Not yet. Do you know what I'm going to do instead?
You feverishly search for an answer, but you can't even imagine how an Alfar thinks.
I will kill everyone who means anything to you. I will destroy your life, and you will sink into hopelessness, groundling. Your downfall is called Synthras.
You tense your muscles, readying to defend yourself, but suddenly realize that the blade against your throat has disappeared. You look around, astonished. The elf is nowhere to be seen. You look over to Boendal, who is easy to recognize in the bright moonlight. Next to you, Boindil smacks his lips in his sleep. You touch your throat, and when you don't feel anything, you breathe out, relieved.
Just a nightmare.
At least that's what you tell yourself. But you don't close your eyes for the rest of the night. Boindil unwraps his dwarf cheese again and cooks it on the fire. When he offers you a piece, you take it.
I knew we'd make a dwarf of you in the end.
You chew on the cheese so you don't have to answer. It tastes better than you first thought. You arrive at a crossroads with a tavern on the corner. A warm light is emanating from its window, lighting up the road around it. A stone sculpture of a sheep stands in front of the door, and above it a sign, swaying gently in the breeze, reads, "The Stone Sheep." You observe the surroundings, but the road is empty and no one leaves the tavern. You notice a broken window on the first floor.
Why are we standing here and...
You enter the tavern with a determined stride and are greeted by a thick wall of pipe smoke. The dozen or so drinkers at the tables turn towards you, then give each... You walk to the nearest empty table with the twins in tow and sit down. The landlord comes out from behind. You hear surly muttering from one of the tables.
What are groundlings doing showing their faces here, now of all times?
I wouldn't mind a pint of ale.
The landlord nods and takes the twins' order too. Shortly after, he returns with your beers and puts them... You turn to the guest who'd muttered something about groundlings.
And...
The man glances up briefly and then stares drunkenly at his tankard and mutters with a slur,
Don't play the innocent. The orcs are terrorizing our lands. And whose fault is it? You let them in.
I was not at the stone gateway, and I don't know what happened. But you can be sure of one thing. Dwarves would never cooperate with orcs. We kill them no sooner than we say them, or my name isn't Boindle Doubleblade.
The drunkard and his neighbour are given a start. They mumble an apology and turn their attention to the beer in front of them. You stand up and turn to the room.
This round's on me.
The faces of the guests and the landlord brighten up immediately. The landlord gets to work pulling everyone a beer and handing out the tankards. Some of the guests say cheers to you as they get their drinks. Despite Boindeal's loud protestations about wanting another drink, you say goodbye. You see a light through the trees some way from the path. It inevitably brings to mind your encounter with the woodcutters. You tell the dwarves about your encounter with the woodcutters and how you ran away, as starting a fight with them wasn't part of your mission.
Ah, then I'll make it my mission. Humans are not our enemies, Boindle.
You must confess that you'd have liked to have taught the woodcutters a lesson. But Boindle is right.
Beating up humans is not our mission.
But a harsh glance from you and Boindle silences Boindle. You continue on your way with a furious Boindle trailing behind.
I don't like it here. All this hocus-pocus is bad news. Us dwarves know that and keep well away, just as Vracus commanded. I hope you know that too.
I cannot perform magic, and I've never attempted to. Nevertheless, please show respect. Remember that it was Lot Yonan who took me in and saved me.
Now then, it would seem that the tongue of the learned one becomes somewhat haughtier, and his sentences doth wind most strangely as we verily approach the vaults.
You can't help but grin guiltily. With a beseeching glance at the twins, you step into the area in front of the vaults. Seeing no one there you might greet, you and your companions enter your old home through the open gate.
Who the hell built this tunnel?
Boindle examines the crumbling roof with a mixture of disbelief and indignation.
Be quiet. I want to surprise them.
Is that such a good idea? What if we give your master such a shock that he casts a spell on us? I don't want to be turned into a mouse or a bar of soap.
It is unusually quiet in the vaults, but the smell of dinner is in the air. You imagine Frala looking up at you from her cooking pot in the kitchen and smiling.
Ah, there's boiled and roasted meat for dinner. Come on.
That's no reason to go and get ourselves turned into something weird. We'll stay here until you're finished with your little game. Only Long'uns will build like this. They've cut through the strata with no concern for the veins. That's obvious, even to a warrior like me.
Ah, the warmth has dried out the strata and made them all crumbly. Even the wooden beams won't hold the roof up for much longer.
Tungdil, have you found your magus yet?
No, not yet. I'll keep looking.
Your workshop seems smaller than you remember it. You are also sure that it smells different than when you set off months ago.
A couple of weeks ago, this anvil was my whole world. Now my world's a whole lot bigger.
You don't know the man coming out of Lot Yonan's study. His robes identify him as a famulus of Nudin the Knowledge-Lusty. You have a bad feeling. The quiet vaults, the open gate, the strange famulus. Your hand moves to the handle of your axe before you address him.
Greetings. What are you doing here? And where is Master Lot Yonan?
Ah, another one.
Don't even think of using magic, or I'll lodge this pretty piece of steel in your brain.
It takes the famulus a few seconds to comprehend the situation he's suddenly found himself in. He seems to weigh up his options for a moment before he breathes out and the tension leaves his body.
All right, I won't use magic.
Lot Yonan, where is he?
Nodon killed him. He killed all of them in Parista. There's no one left in Girdlegard who can take on the last Magus.
You're saying that someone took on all 6 of the Magi at once and defeated them? Ridiculous.
5 Magi. My master Nudin is Nodon the Doublefold, the Lord of the Perished Land and soon-to-be Lord of Girdlegard. He killed the masters, and the apprentices followed soon after. They're all gone. And he changed the magic field so that only we can use them.
An icy hand grabs your heart. It's impossible that there's only a single Magus left, and he's not fighting against, but for the Perished Land.
Why are you snooping around in Lot Yonan's study? What are you looking for?
I'm looking for artifacts that Lot Yonan, when he was in Parista, claimed he had forgotten and left in a cupboard. And for the books that were stolen from Greenglade. I'm guessing you're the dwarves that stole the books.
What does your master want with the artifacts and the books?
I don't know. He commands, we obey. He's going to be very displeased. I did find a bag in the cupboard, but it didn't contain the right objects.
What happened here? Where is everyone?
For a while, the famulus seems to be playing with the idea of being stubborn. Bowendahl pushes a little harder on the end of the crow's beak, and the tip penetrates the skin. Blood seeps out.
They're gone. Dead.
A school full of Magi destroyed without any signs of struggle? Lies.
The facts seem stacked against it, but you cling on to this faint hope.
Lot Yonan's famuli were already in Parista. There were only novices left. We made easy work of them. The Elfar, Synthoras, he insisted on being part of the raid after he found out that you grew up here. He opened the gates and killed most of those here before they even knew what was happening.
In your mind's eye, you see a pale face appearing from the darkness. You saw what Elfar are capable of in Greenglade. You push the thought to the back of your mind and try to keep a clear head.
I've had enough of your lies. They're alive. Lot Yonan escaped and has gathered his apprentices, Frala, and the others around him to fight against Nodon. We just have to find them.
The war was over before you even noticed it had begun. Nod-on cannot be stopped. He is on his way here and will just...
Blah, blah. We will leave immediately. This news is of great importance to the Council of Dwarves.
I'm not going anywhere. I have to find my friends and I...
Orcs! Lots of them! What is it? What is it? Huh? He hardly put up a fight. Huh? And again. What is it?
Vile creature.
What is it? Huh? Oh, he didn't hit you very hard. Nest.
Yes?
Huh? Yes? And what now? Pow! What's the dust?
Huh? And again.
Yeah! What is it? Oh, he didn't hit you very hard.
Yes?
Huh? Too easy. Yeah! And what now? What is it? Who's next? Huh?
Yes?
Oh, he didn't hit you very hard. What is it? There are too many of them.
The side door in the workshop. It's our only chance. Kill!
What now?
And again. Vile creature.
Yes? He didn't hit you very hard. Huh? Of course. What is it? All right.
Huh? At once. Damn.
The first 20 are mine.
You have come far, but this is far enough. Give me the artifacts and the books you stole in Greenglade, and I'll set you free.
You wanting my rucksack is enough reason for me not to give it to you.
I don't need your consent. Look after the rucksack. If you lose it, you will also lose your life.
What have you done to the other Magi? Your famulus told us some cock and bull story about you forcing them and their famuli to go to Parista and then murdering them.
I did what had to be done to protect Girdlegard. I wish there had been another way. But they would never have understood.
Do your eyes deceive you, or do you really see a brief moment of real regret on the swollen face of the Magus?
Go back to your realm, dwarves, and let your king know that I need his land. Either he hands it over without a drop of blood being spilt, or my troops and allies take it by force. You can take this one with you. I have no use for him.
Invisible wizard, Maya!
Look!
Let me handle her. Kill the dwarves!
The rucksack! The artifacts! If he wants them so badly, they might be the key to his destruction.
There's the orc with the rucksack! Let's get him!
And I didn't even take off my gloves.
And again!
No chance.
And what now? I'm not that quick! Yes?
Huh?
What is it? I've got my rucksack!
Let's get out of here!
I have
Over the bridge!
Thunder! Give me a hand! On my way!
Yes? On my way.
Huh? Huh? Yes, yes!
Huh? At once.
Yes? What is it? All right. Huh?
Yes? On my way.
What is it? And what now?
What a waste of time. No chance.
Let's get out of here!
Retreat? We should fight on!
We would die! Perhaps you've noticed that Nodon has risen again, headless. He is more powerful than the Perish Land itself, but the key to his destruction is in here.
We will return to the Secondlings and tell them what the Magus is up to. We'll be safe at Ogre's death, and there we can hatch a plan.
If we manage to get there. Nodon will do anything to stop us.
Then let him try! That was fun. What's next?
Boindil looks at you, and the sparkle in his eye.
We are both very sorry about what happened here, Tungdil.
You told me, Cynthara said. I convinced myself that...
You gulp and turn away from your...
Ha! That's what I call a goodly challenge. Cover me.
Not a good idea if you want to go on living, dwarf.
You've got quite a big mouth for someone who sounds like a girl.
You are Andikai, the Tempestuous, right?
Correct. And you're Tungdil, Lot Yonan's charge.
Your companion, won't he sit with us and introduce himself?
Yes! Hey, you up there! Can you even hear us with that bucket on your head?
Jerun is mute, and he won't do you any harm unless I command him to. And as long as you treat him with courtesy, dwarf.
Boindil seems to briefly weigh up his chances against the two of them.
I decide when I'm courteous. Just don't get in my way. And the orcs are mine!
Honourable Mager, what news of Lot Yonan? Does he live?
Andikai looks at you in silence, pain and rage slowly spreading across her face.
He is dead, Tungdil. Along with Myra, Turga, and Sabora. Nod-On killed them all, and destroyed the Council of Magi.
The certainty of their death is painful. It feels as though someone has just torn your insides out.
He killed their best pupils, too. And now he's the unchallenged Magus in Girdlegard.
It was you, wasn't it, that attacked them with the lightning? Were you any more successful than we were?
Andikai shakes her head.
He defied everything I threw at him. All of my skills. In vain. I soon realized he was superior to me, but I wanted to buy you some time.
Nodon's famula said that he had changed the magical fields, but you still seem to be able to use them.
Andikai smiles.
I'm not quite as benevolent as the other Magi. My god Samusin is the god of balance. He loves the darkness as much as the light, which means I can use both. But my powers aren't unlimited. It is difficult for me to store and use this altered magic. We should avoid confrontation as much as possible.
What happened? How could he defeat the Council of Magi?
Nudin called us to Perista, under the guise of reinforcing the barrier against the perished land. Instead, he tricked us, took control of most of our powers and attacked us. I cut him down with my sword, but he rose again and impaled me with his staff. All I can remember after that is the sound of fighting, destruction, and cries of death.
How did you survive?
Jerun. Nudin had forgotten he was with me in Perista. He found me, tended to my wounds, and brought me out of the city to safety until I could summon up enough power to heal myself.
And Lot Yonan?
When Jerun carried me away, he was frozen in stone, like a statue. To my knowledge, the spell cannot be reversed.
You nod slowly. You don't have the strength to say anything else right now.
What will you do now?
Leave this place. I'm not so foolish as to believe that I could restrain the perished land or Nod-On. Why should I stay here?
Foolish, no. But cowardly.
You're on your way to the kingdom of the Secondlings, right? Then I will accompany you and leave Girdlegard by the High Pass.
We'll need all the help we can get. Nodon will have a lot worse in store for us than just orcs.
The Mager nods in agreement. Then she looks pensively at your rucksack.
Your rucksack? Why did Nodon want it?
I was taking some objects to Goren, one of Lot Yonan's famuli. He was murdered at Greenglade by an elf. There were books lying next to his body which he was planning to send to Turga the Fairfaced.
May I see them?
You nod. Take the books out of your rucksack and hand them to her. She goes through the letter and the books, one after another, without showing any sign of emotion. Finally, she closes the last of the books.
Is that all? They are only sagas and travelogues from the Outer Lands, which tell of legendary creatures and myths. I don't know why they should be of interest to Nodon.
There must be something in them that's important to him. He destroyed a whole village for them, and the vaults.
Possibly. I'll study the books. But let's sleep now. Jarun can keep watch. We are still being followed.
The path leads you through a ravine, whose steep walls are mainly made up of loose boulders and scree. You could probably cause a rockfall that would block your pursuer's path and obstruct your way back. It takes longer than you would have liked to trigger a rockfall that is big enough, but when the dust settles, you realize that you have been rewarded for your troubles. The path is blocked. In the afternoon, with the sun low in the sky, the path leads you through a ravine. A glance at your map suggests that you're near to Boribor, the Orc realm.
Fracas, may we remain unscathed.
About a mile further on, Boindil suddenly stops in his tracks and sniffs.
Can you smell that? Piggy snouts! And lots of them too!
Let's proceed with caution. Perhaps we can take a few of them out before they raise the alarm.
What is it?
Huh?
Now you've got me interested. If I have to.
And what now? Yes, yes.
Understood.
Yes? All right.
What is it?
Now you've got me interested.
Huh? As good as
And
done.
what now? Of course.
On my way. Up there! We have to stop them before they can warn anyone.
Too easy. Yes?
What is it?
Huh?
What is it?
What is it?
And I didn't even take off my gloves.
Huh?
Yes?
Piggies! Who's next?
No chance.
Pow! Another one bites the dust. Yes?
And what now?
I didn't hit you very hard. Pow! Another one bites the dust.
What a waste of time.
Understood.
What is it? All right.
Huh?
Now you've got me interested. And I didn't even take off my gloves.
As good as done.
And what now?
Yes? On my way.
What is it?
Yes?
He hardly put up a
Now you've got me interested.
Who's next?
What a waste of time.
Pow! Another one bites the dust.
Huh?
What is it?
And what now?
At once.
What is it? All right then.
Yes? All right, huh?
I'm with you. Of course.
Huh? Understood.
If I have
What
to.
is it? As good as done.
And what now?
What is it?
Huh?
Huh?
Yes?
And I didn't even even take off my gloves.
Too easy!
Now you've got me interested.
Yes!
And I didn't even take off my gloves.
Another one bites the dust!
And I didn't even take off my gloves.
What is it? Too easy! Oink, oink, little piggies!
Now you've got me interested.
Huh? And what now? Oink, oink, little piggies!
Yes?
What is it? What a waste of time.
Yes?
Now you've got me interested.
I didn't hit you very hard!
What is it?
Yes?
What is it? What is it?
Now you've got me interested.
Huh? And what now? I'm with you. Yeah. Yes.
Huh? Yes?
Yeah.
What is it?
And again.
Kill!
What is it? And what now?
Huh?
And I didn't even take off my gloves.
Who's next? Yes? What is it? Yes, yes!
On my way.
Now you've got me interested.
Huh? On my way! I'm with you!
At once.
What is it? All right then. Not a bad idea.
Huh?
We should go down into the caves and vaults! There'll be more of them down there!
Or maybe we should concentrate on finally getting to Ogre's Death stronghold, Boindil.
You ignore the offended look on your friend's face and set off, leaving the Orc Mountains behind you. You have put out a plate of food for the night every evening since Jeroen and Andakai joined you on your journey, but still none of you have seen him eat. You decide to pay particular attention to him this evening, to try and find out what is under the helmet. Andakai is sitting not far from the giant, studying the books.
Have you found anything useful yet?
She looks up at you.
You think I will stay and fight if there is a spell in the books that might defeat Nod-On?
Yours is the god of balance. Don't you see it as your duty to create a balance between light and dark?
Instead of answering, Andakai rubs her eyes and closes the books.
It's too dark to study. Let's see what tomorrow brings.
Disgruntled, you watch the Mager as she walks over to her bed for the night. Your eyes fall upon Jeroen and the plate at his feet, on which not a crumb of food is left. You can already see the oasis a day's journey away, but in the glimmer of the midday sun, you're not sure whether it might not just be a mirage. But the twins are convinced that there is a village here, and the prospect of a roof over your heads for the night keeps you going. The nearer you get to the oasis, the more the uneasy feeling grows that something is not right. It's too quiet, and you don't see any movement. Once you enter the village, your fears are confirmed. Your enemies have already been here.
Where is everyone?
Hello? Anyone here?
You all jump. You look angrily at Boindil, who shrugs his shoulders in apology.
This whole thing is probably a trap. We should...
Welcome to Pasnar. I'm sure the citizens would greet you themselves, if they could.
You recognize the elf immediately. You saw him with the leaders of the orcs, and he appeared to you in a dream after Greenglade. Or no, not in a dream.
Sinthras.
So we meet again, Tungdil. What do you think of my work in the vaults? It was a nice start, wasn't it?
An eerie smile sets on Sintharas's lips.
Wonderful! I can see the hatred in your eyes. Come on. Come and get your revenge.
No chance. And I didn't even take off my gloves.
I didn't hit you very hard!
Now you've got me interested.
Too easy!
What a waste of time.
Yes?
No chance. And I didn't even take off my gloves.
I didn't hit you very hard!
On my way. At once.
Now you've got me interested.
What is it? Another one bites the dust! All right.
Yes? On my way.
What is it? If I have to.
Huh?
Hmm? What is it?
What is it?
Yes?
Yes?
Now you've got me interested.
Huh?
Uh-huh.
Boindale! Where is Boindale?
At once.
What is it? Now you've got me interested.
Retreat! Why are you here? And how can you possibly still use magic?
The one person your master left living is the one you would least like to have as an enemy. Go on, little Alf. Flee.
Your magic saved you this time. But next time, I'll be prepared.
I've had enough of fighting. It's about time we head to your home.
I've had enough too. But we've got several days in the desert ahead of us before we can enjoy a cold beer.
The longer we talk about it, the later we'll get to our beer. Let's go.
You've been travelling through the desert for days. The sand is simply everywhere. In your shoes, under your clothes, in your mouths. Even the makeshift cloths that you've wrapped around. With the last of the energy you can muster, you finally leave the 40-mile-wide sandbar that separated you from Ogre's Death. It is as if you've passed through an invisible wall when the raging wind and sand, in front of you, an enormous massive towers into the sky, the Blue Range. The slopes cast long shadows over Ogre's Death Fortress, which nestles in the spurs of the mountain. Even from this distance it looks impressive, with its 4 defensive terraces. The anticipation of entering a real dwarven city for the first time grows with every step, and you feel the power returning to your limbs. You've almost...
My High King, you have called me to succeed you to the throne. Here I stand before you.
Well... Before you are chosen as the successor to the High King, hear, King Gandagard, the challenges that await you. Hordes of orcs are rampaging through the north and the west, and the perished land is stirring. It would seem that the Magi cannot sustain the barriers.
This gives us an excellent opportunity to attack the last elves in Alandor. They are weakened. The perished land afflicts them. Let us wipe out the traitors once and for all.
Yes, right. Exactly.
Hear, hear.
Madness. What are you talking about?
I do not recognize you, King Gandagar, in what you are saying. The elves are inhabitants of Girdlegard. Has your hatred for them clouded your senses to the point that you wish to ignore the words of our god?
Belendelin's gaze falls, as if incidentally, on the King of the Fourthlings' advisor.
Or is someone giving you bad advice?
On the contrary, it was Bislipper who finally supplied me with the proof. A report titled How the Fiflings Lost the Gate. It was the elves that poisoned the brave Fifling warriors in their stronghold. A devious disease spread by the pointy ears in the shafts of the Grey Range.
Impossible! I always knew it!
Treason!
I don't believe
They should
that.
pay for it!
To the pointy ears!
Enough! Don't be so short-sighted! We are talking about the safety of Girdlegard. We must reach out and forge a large coalition with the elves. Yes, and even with the Thirdlings, if we are to defeat the perished land.
My High King, you cannot be serious!
Drivel from a dwarf who has grown too old in his post. Are we not here to choose a new High King? We have waited long enough.
It would seem you will have to wait a little bit longer. The second aspirant has arrived. Our guests must be tired from their long journey. The meeting is adjourned till tomorrow.
But why do you think that I...
Everything will become clear. I've had a room prepared for you. Before you take to your bed, please pay the High King and I a visit in the throne room.
Ah, your highness!
Heir apparent? What do you know? Spit it out.